Today we're doing Season 5 tier list. If Alex and I disagree on a tier grade, we're just going to average it and round up. So if it's a B and C, it's a B. If it's an A and a D, it's a B. Just like that. The only difference will be for S tier. So if we both do not say S tier, it will not be an S tier. It'll go to A. Unless it's like an S and an E, but I don't think that'll happen. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get jumping in with this. The first one's probably going to be pretty easy, but we'll talk about it for a minute. Redemption 2.
Redemption 2, the banger of all bangers, the one that set the standard for the entire season. There's no other letter that I can think of Redemption 2 besides S.
Yeah, I gave it a perfect S when we watched it, and I'm still going to stand by that. So I'm going to give Redemption 2 an S as well. Good start.
All right, here we go.
Now this one will be interesting. You gave this, I want to say an A when you watched it. Where are you sitting right now?
I'm still sitting at an A.
At an A, okay, so it doesn't hit S for you. So this is going to be the one for me. This is the first one where I am going to change my grade a little bit. I gave it a D at the time for Do Not Care. Now that the season has played out, and the other episodes that I consider a D and consider an E, I would admit Darmok is better than that. But for that being said, for me personally, this is not an episode for me personally. So I'm going to go up, but I'm only going to go up to a C. C is a passing grade. It's a good grade.
Which means
it's a good score.
That's a real good score. 7.8, that's a real good score. Which means it'll fall under B.
It'll be a banger.
That's a banger. Okay.
It would average now even if I had kept my grade at a D, it still would have gone B because we're going to round up if we're 2 grades apart.
Right.
But I just wanted to clarify, if this were just my own tier list, I would move it up to a C for my initial tier listing. But at the end of the day, guys, I don't think it's a bad episode, just not one of my favorites. But still officially for the target audience is a banger. So shut up. Okay. Now here we go. Now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes. Episode 3, Ensign Rowe.
Ensign Rowe, the debut of a returning actor but a new character, and just a wonderful grand slam performance. Overall episode was fine per se, but I think she just elevated it so much with the Cardassians and all that. I think it falls under the B range.
Yeah, I almost want to say A, but the thing is for this one, the best part, the title character, Ensign Rowe. The episode itself, though, it's not like it's anything amazing. I like the themes in there. I like the political aspect, but you had your generic bad admiral. I think he was an admiral.
Yeah.
It sends her in as a mole, all these things. The episode itself, the storyline of it doesn't speak to me as being, one I really remember or really love. But just because of Ensign Rowe, it's a banger. Introduction of one of my new favorite characters. So
Hell yeah.
I would agree with you there.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what they're saying before we move on here. See a little bit of the feedback. Minor redemption for Josh there. Thanks, Darren. Josh has Portnoy ratings. It's a good score. It's a good score.
7.8, 8.1, 8.1. That's a real good score.
Now listen, if I was Portnoy rating, there'd be no S. There'd be no perfect S. So I'm not quite that bad. I'm more like a Anthony Fantano rating there. I give it the S when it's deserved.
Speaking of not deserving.
Yeah, here we go. This one is the Silicone Avatar. You got really mad at this lady. She did redeem herself a little bit to you, I think, and we ended up enjoying the episode. But what do you think right now?
Wow, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, eh. But there's also a lot of stuff I like in there. Her getting her, her just not yelled at, but basically scolded by Data at the end. I think it still falls under the C range. I think.
I think this is on the higher end of a C. I feel like this is it's contract filler, but they did a good job with it. They weren't careless about it.
Yeah, it wasn't full contract filler. There was some good stuff in there.
All right, here we go. Worf giving, he's not giving birth. He's delivering Keiko's baby here in Disaster.
Disaster, yeah. Oh, that was good. Oh, that's an A for me. Disaster was absolutely wonderful. I've spoken my piece about this episode, but I just love it's the disaster of people being split up and them having to figure it out, all these random situations on their own. Just wonderful. Yeah, that's an A.
Yeah, for me, I'd love to throw this an S. I can't give an episode an S when a whole plot line I don't care for. The Dr. Crusher Geordi plotline, sorry, not for me, but the rest of the episode is basically S level, so for me, I would say an A as well. Solid A. Plus Captain Troy, there with Chief and Ensign Rowe. Great stuff.
Amazing.
Here's a fun one. The Game, Wesley's Return. This was our first negative grade when we were doing it during the season. What are you thinking of it now?
For pure entertainment laugh value, I still got to go with D. But everything else, it's E. But just the laughs that we had during it, it's like
You don't want to give it that bottom grade.
I don't want to give it that bottom grade. It was a fantastical fail, but it wasn't a fantastical fail in a terrible way. It was fun and stupid. So yeah, I got to go with D.
Yeah, I feel like giving in this an E was like, there's no real other grade to describe what I felt about this one. Like, this is like, The Room as a TNG episode. Like, yeah, it's bad, but I had so much fun with it. There's unfortunately no real grade for that. So I
No.
guess D would be closest. I just felt like, yeah, it's E, but it's like a legendary E. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll throw it into D since we'll be rounding up. Now this one's two-parter. Put it on here as one. Unification. That's Spock there. If you can't tell who it is.
Okay.
Spock is a Romulan in Romulan garb. This one we had a lot of thoughts on, positive and negative.
A lot of thoughts on it. But overall, as a whole, Leonard Nimoy is what carries this for me. And a little bit of Mark Leonard, too. I'm not going to say the whole thing was just fan service, and that's the only reason why I liked it. There's good stuff in there, but not the best stuff. But Leonard Nimoy, Brent Spiner, and Patrick Stewart just pushed through. Denise Crosby as well. And I think I had an S for Spock, but I think it's tier on A or for A and B for me. But I think I got to go A. I don't know though.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much in the episode that I can't ignore, like Data doing the Vulcan neck grip in front of Spock, and just stuff like that. That it's like, wow, you really have to be a bad episode for me to not think those things are worth a really good grade. And while this wasn't my favorite episode or anything, I didn't think anything about it was abhorrent or offensive. It was mostly C level, but those fan service moments, it would bring it up to A for me as well. Even after the disappointing, it's basically a commercial for a movie I don't like, in a way. But it still gave us, all of those moments with Spock. I wish he was on the bridge. I wish, other things happened. But for what we got, it still falls to that A for fan service with a capital A and fan.
Yeah, there we go.
You gave it an A as well?
A, yeah.
All right. Let's check the chat again real quick. So we got so bad it's good. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking for the game. Yeah, James thinks the game is a fun episode. The game is lame, says Michael Bradley. The game is fine. I love Jovette on every episode. Someone will comment the complaint, and Jovette will say it was fine. Oh well, my bad.
Never mind.
It was
then.
fine. Ronald Moore's helping writing Troy this season. Wish they had started earlier seasons. 100%. Mr. Flat Hands, great name. Yeah. Michael saying Unification solid B.
Maybe the more times I watch it, maybe it'll come down. But Leonard, Leonard and Mark, I just wish Picard was in his uniform instead of dressed up as a fucking Romulan during their scenes together.
Yeah. James says, Star Trek 6 slander. All I said was I didn't enjoy it. Are we at that point? That is slander at this point? That I didn't enjoy it? I didn't even say anything about the movie.
I know I can be pretty slanderous. I'm not going to apologize.
But you didn't even say anything here.
But
I said it.
earlier today.
Oh, earlier. Well,
it's my birthday.
Yeah, don't watch the 25th anniversary special reaction, though. If you don't want to see it. All right. Up next, your favorite episode, the Jim Carrey episode.
D.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to say about this episode. Find Picard's speech. I like him, coming to terms and like arguing with this guy about, doing what's right to save lives and all that. And blah, 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 blah. But it's a D.
D, because they should have dumped this script after Robin Williams couldn't do it.
For sure. I'm sure Max Headroom was great, and I'm sorry I don't recognize him from things I haven't seen. But, yeah.
All right, up next, this is coming back from Star Trek 6. We have New Ground, where Dorf gets introduced back onto the Enterprise. We had Worf trying to ship him away to a Klingon school for a little bit, and then Troy convinces him to keep him, basically. What do you think about this one?
That was the entire episode, wasn't it?
Yep. I think there might have been a B plot, but I don't even remember.
Did we go C on this up? I want to say C. It's just falling right in the middle for me right
Yeah,
now.
I purposely didn't really look back much on what I gave because I wanted to go off of what I feel now, but this is like a perfect example of a C for me.
Yeah, that works for me.
Here we go. Hero Worship. Bridge crew member Adam. I don't know if he's here, but he detests this episode.
I love this episode. I had a great time with this episode. But I'm trying to, I want to give it an A, but I'm looking at what's in the B. And I'm like, I can't put it above Darmok and Ensign Row.
Well, you don't know what I'm going to rate it, so if you give it an A, I might bring it down.
I'm pretty sure I liked it more than you. I'm fairly confident, but don't quote me on that. So I'm gonna go with B. It's a banger.
All right, well, for me, I'm going to, I'm almost there. I almost would put it in B, but for me, it did fall into the C, but we'll go B.
Okay.
There on that one. Here we go. Violations.
Ooh, some good stuff, but very tough watch. Very disturbing plot elements and points. Some really neat scenery and flashback scenes that just has that 90s grunge music video type stuff to it. That was very fun to watch. Picard with hair. But I don't know, I think I gave it a B when I saw it, but I think I'm leaning more C now.
Yeah, I think I gave it a B as well, if I remember correctly. But this is another one I'm going to change because the further I get from it, I am really disappointed in how good it could have been with the story and the premise, and the execution was just kind of very, very TV. And I know what you're thinking. It's a TV show, but it's like TNG has exceeded the expectations of a TV show on so many occasions, and typically, an episode like this is like, oh, it's just a TV show episode. It's not that great. I would throw it in C. But I was very disappointed, in the fact that we did have what could be a really cool premise. The scenes like Beverly seeing Jack dead and bringing back that actor for that small moment, and then the opening with Keiko, that is still going to give it a positive grade for me, but I would fall in C for this one.
Okay. Let's see.
You remember this one?
Is that Masterpiece Society?
It is.
That's a banger for me. That was really good. That was awesome. I love thinker episodes like that that let you sit with the humanity of the different situations and characters are discussing it as well. Like I love the Riker and Picard scene talking in the. That's that episode, right? Where they're talking in the ready room.
Riker?
Yeah, aren't Riker and Picard talking in the ready room? Or am I thinking of a different episode?
I don't remember. What would they be talking about?
Something. About whether they interfere or not. Well, if we didn't.
Oh yes, at the end, the ending scene.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
Did you give it a grade?
I was gonna go B.
B. Yeah, I actually gave this an S at the time. It was an S when I first watched it. I really loved it. Looking back on it after finishing the whole season, it's an S in that personal category for me. But as an episode, I'd probably give it a B. I would say it's a banger, but just on a production level, emotional level, character level, it's not one of the best. I just really loved the premise personally, and I thought that's what really Star Trek TNG could do.
Yeah.
What grade you said?
B.
B? Okay, so we agree on that one. All right. That's still probably higher than most people have it. Here we go. Worf is captain. This is Conundrum. Everyone forgetting who they are. Riker and Ro hooking up.
Ooh, yeah, that's I gave Conundrum and yeah, Disaster and Conundrum were pretty close for me, and there's a lot of stuff I liked in this episode, some stuff I didn't like, not in terms of having problems with like that's wrong, but just like the way it was executed. Like basically, okay, we're supposed to know this guy's a bad guy, but I'd prefer if it was like a chameleon type situation. But it's an A for me.
Yeah, I'd agree, but I lean much more into the everyone forgetting their memory and the fun stuff we get from that. I don't care about the actual plot at all.
Yeah, same here.
But that stuff is so fun that I'm gonna remember that. It's a lot of memorable moments from this one, so put that in A. But okay. I would say for me, you brought up Disaster. I put Disaster on like the high end of A, and almost like if they eliminated the Beverly and Geordi story altogether, it would probably be an S. But here, this is like on the lower for me.
Okay.
Just compared to Disaster. But you guys will see more in depth about these episodes in our top 10, which we've already recorded. Let's see what they're saying. Riker and Ro kissing in a bed, porking.
Spelling it out. P-O-R-K.
Like was that supposed to be like the kissing in a tree, K-I-S-S, but this is kissing in a bed, P-O-R-K-I-N-G?
Yeah, and they also said, Jovid also said that the B plot in the Dorf episode was Dorf almost dying.
Oh, yeah, with the little exhibit that they had.
Yeah,
He was in there, and then they were getting attacked by something.
Didn't Worf say yeah?
All right. Up next, power play. Data, Chief, and Troy getting possessed.
Even though we got an email from
Oh yeah, we apparently got an email from David Livingston, the director of this episode, as well as A Mind's Eye, and heavily involved in DS9. So
yeah,
he was nice email.
yeah, he gave us praise and he asked us for some Amazon gift cards.
Yeah, and then he called us hacks for not giving it an S. No, it was a nice email.
But oh, God, I'm stuck on this one. I want to go C.
Really, see, I would say it's such a fun time, and just the sequence when they first reveal they're possessed, and then like attacking on the bridge, and like Data punches Riker, Troy hitting Picard, and the whole sequence of them going from the bridge to 10 forward, and then the guy in 10 forward stunned table bump. Like it's also fun that alone is like it's a B at least. So I'd go B. I do think it slows down and kind of loses what it wants to do in the second half, but I would go B. You said C.
Yeah, so yeah, go B. That's fine. You know what? No, I'm gonna bring it down to D. So you have to put it in C.
Fuck. All right, here we go. Ethics.
Ooh, this is a really good one. This might be S tier. I think. I besides a goofy barrel bump, I love this one a lot. This might be S, but I don't know.
I don't have much to say because this is an easy S for me.
There we go. Works for me.
But you have to make it an S, and we both would say S for it to go an S. So it is up to you ultimately.
Turn off the camera. Yeah, it's an S. Very great visceral reaction to this one. Really good.
That barrel taking Worf out. The Outcast. For me, I like the message, but this is another perfect example of a C. It's like it was an episode, but it had a message and a downer ending, so it's up your alley.
A lot of times it's for how it ends. That's why I was looking at power play as a little down, as a little. But the way this one ended, it was right up my alley. It was Riker's. Let's get the hell out of here, and it was wonderful. And I do like the message and everything. It's teetering on B and C for me, but compared to everything else, I think I will go C. Yeah, high C. This is my high C.
High key C. I'd put this kind of similar to Silicone Avatar, maybe even above Silicone Avatar. But yeah, high tier C.
Yeah,
I
way
just
above.
wish there was more meat to the episodes besides the message. Like I wish because most of the episode is just the Outcast and Riker talking, and like that's fine. It could be good. I like Masterpiece Society, but I just felt like it needed more to it.
Yeah, and they had that whole plot where they go into that special warp, that thing of space where they have to beam in there and beam out, and it was very, you know what I mean? Like that didn't really add much to the story at all. I wish there was a little more meat on the bone of their narrative as opposed to, oh, we have to save these people, got to beam in there and beam out of there. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and then there's and then she gives her America Ferrera speech. So it was a good speech though. Good performance. Good performance by this person.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's Riker's City on a Hill.
That's my favorite. City on a Hill.
Yep. Darren outcast for me would be S, except I didn't believe the speed that Riker fell for Soren. Yeah, absolutely Star Trek timing. In love with her after 20 minutes.
Yeah. Just needed that extra 5 minutes the TOS had, and that would have been more bought in. Maybe.
All right, up next, we got the Kelsey Grammer episode, Cause and Effect. I gave this an A when we watched it. Now that we've finished the season, I think I'm ready to bump it up to S. And not just because I have this shirt. But when we watched it, I said, this was the first time I said, like, I really appreciate this episode, but it's not one of my favorites. While I still feel that way, it's not one of my personal favorites of the whole show, but there are certain episodes that I do feel like are just so well made that it earns the S purely through quality. And not like it being one of my personal favorites. And this is one of those to me. So it has snuck into S for me, but I would totally understand if it wasn't for you. And it is ultimately up to you, because we both have to give it an S for it to go there. So what do you think?
Not an S for me. I really like it, but it's not one of my personal favorites. I'm in the same boat with you. I appreciate everything that went into making it. Anyway, what's next?
Since we're going A with this one.
Yeah, go.
Our first what happened?
Whoa, yeah, lagging there.
First one, we have one S, but didn't quite make it. So I like this. It restricts the S a little bit more,
Yeah,
as it should be.
I was teetering on B. Yeah, banger. But
Oh, you're even teetering on B. Well, that would still put it in
that
A
put it in A,
regardless.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but even down to B for you. Interesting. Okay. So you like unification more than cause and effect, you'd say? I mean, I know it's hard when you're doing a tier list, but
I'd say they're pretty close.
pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for different reasons.
Yeah. Maybe I put it in A. I don't know.
All
Somewhere
right. Well, up next, Wesley's return again, but this one's much better. The first duty. He's involved in killing someone.
there. Hell yeah. What did we get? I fucking love this episode. I think I gave it an S. I think. Did I? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Real quick though, Matt Parson says, "Come on, Alex, it's your birthday," and then Mark says, "B tier for birthday."
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I love this episode a lot, but it doesn't reach that next level S tier. There's a lot of good stuff I like. I wish Picard gave Wesley the choice instead of saying, "I'm going to tell." That I don't think that detracts from his speech or all the other great stuff. And Wesley's not boy genius. He takes the L. It might be an S. Yeah, I think it's an S.
Yeah, I'm teetering as well. I think I gave it an S when we watched it, and yeah, it's really damn good. It's really damn good. I think I said in the discussion, like, this was one where I couldn't find a reason not to give it an S. I think that was this one. And that is kind of still how I feel. Like, my only hesitancy is that it's like, if someone asked me to list my favorite Star Trek episodes, it would be a long time before I said the first duty, you know? So, but at the same time, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. It's a pretty flawless episode. Also, Boothby.
Boothby. Hell yeah.
So I gotta go B for Boothby. No, I'll put that in S as well. But that's questionable. But it's there. It's there. Here we go. Here's an S tier right here. I forgot what this one's called.
I recognize it right from that fucking glowing.
Someone tell us what this one's called.
Something do. What is that?
Do better. Do better.
Do better.
Cost of living. Thank you, Marco. Cost of living.
D. It's a D.
I really like Loaxana Troy here, but it's a D. Unfortunate. I gave it a C for cute.
They gave Lux
but
similar to Q. They gave Lux one of the toughest battles for good episodes. It's tough, and when it's good, they're fucking great. Like the Timison episode. It's like just give her a good episode. It'll be fine. You don't have to put her in this fucking trash.
Scuzzlebutt said, "Who cares? It's an E no matter what it's called." Yeah. It's I tried to give it that C when we watched it because there are cute moments. The mud bath at the end with Worf, you know, the stuff with Grandma Loaxana with Dorf, but I just don't care. I just don't care at the end of the day. All right. Here's one that caused a lot of interesting discussions on the Patreon. The Perfect Mate.
Yeah,
Jean Grey.
Weren't a lot of people with us were like, I don't know how to feel about this episode.
Yeah, but I felt like it was very like a lot of people didn't really care for it, but then there was a vocal audience that did really love it.
Okay.
So it went both ways. There was a lot of discussion amongst patrons. I did enjoy it. I just, again, I felt a little bit like, where's the rub? You know, it's like, yeah, I get it. This story's interesting, and it's like, but
yeah, I like episodes or characters that spark questions. I liked playing with the idea of like, was she telling the truth to Picard about like, did she really bond with him, or was she just playing into her nature of doing whatever she could to bond with the one person who didn't want to fuck her? But everything else, it should be much higher, but it just didn't reach there. It fell very C for me.
yeah, it's one of those where, again, my favorite stuff is the stuff the episode doesn't really focus on, like the fun stuff with her and Riker, Data, Worf, 10 Forward. But the actual story with Picard, I'm just like, yeah, I get it for Picard, and it's a good story for Picard. It's just for whatever reason, this episode didn't really hit me with it. I just didn't, it's like, eh. But it's good. You gave it a C? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to put it up to B just because there was a lot of good stuff there, but now I'm looking at the list like you were doing, and I'm like, I don't know if I can put it in that echelon.
Yeah, when you look at the rest of the list, that's judged a lot of my decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go C with it. I'm gonna go C, but it's a high key C we call C contract filler. I don't think this is contract filler. I think this was a very good attempt that just, for me personally, didn't never hit that next level of a banger.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
What is that?
that's imaginary friend.
Oh, that's imaginary. I couldn't even tell by the thumbnail. Who's the fucker in the green? Is that the little girl?
It's the two girls, yeah.
Oh, it's the two girls. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was Beverly on the right.
You can see it here too.
The thing's so small. Oh yeah, duh. Oh yeah, this is an E. E.
Yeah.
E.
That's an E. I've thought about it because I gave it a D when we watched it. I fell asleep going back watching this edit, or not the edit, but for the uncut. I'm like going back, like I don't even want to post this. I literally posted this next episode, Iborg, at the same time because I felt bad, for this reaction.
They're lucky you posted it. I would have left them with imaginary friend for the few days.
Just to sit with it.
Just to sit with it.
Like,
you need to sit with this.
Yeah, you need to experience what we did. Yeah.
Now on the complete opposite end of that,
Iborg. For me, it's an easy S. What about you?
I was hoping you'd jokingly drag it to E. No, it's an S. No thought or question.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do that joke later, but yeah.
Okay.
I really liked this episode. Next phase.
The next phase was a whole lot of fun. It was great. Some people were talking about like a buddy cop thing with Troy and Jordy. Or not, Ro and Jordy. I would love to see that. If they form a little friendship and have their own little side stories in future episodes, that'd be wonderful. But this episode had some jump out of the seat moments. It was fucking awesome. It's an A.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect definition of what an A is. Episode is a perfect. It's an nothing wrong with the episode that just doesn't reach my personal favorites. It's like I love it. I would watch this 100 times. It's a lot of fun, but nothing about it was like a landmark episode or one I really had to sit and think on. It wasn't what I really love about Star Trek. It was just a whole bunch of fun. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it in an A. All right. Here we are. No, I'm just kidding. You kind of said it earlier, so the joke's not as funny anymore.
My bad, man.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go first for this one? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You'll go first. Okay.
Yeah, Inner Light. I think it's an S.
You think it's an S?
I think it's an S.
You want to say a little bit about why?
It felt very important, strong, a very good holy shit moment, and an ending that sits with you. All the pieces were there. Is it one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek? I don't think so, but after watching it and sitting with it, I'm like, yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
So you say it's not one of your favorites, but it sounds like maybe like what I was saying about cause and effect. It's just like quality-wise to you earned that S from you.
Some things definitely hit with me where I'm like, holy shit, but it's not. I wasn't having a Redemption 2-esque freak out.
Yeah, sure. It's not that kind of
emotional reaction.
It's not that kind of, yeah.
I had an emotional reaction, but not to that length. But I definitely felt what they were going for. I'm like, wow. So,
So we both have to say S for it to go in S. So if I give it a or a B, it would, or even a C, it would go into A based on your S. So if I give it a D or E, then it would start to go down the list. So first, let me calm everyone. I'm not giving it a D or an E. So it's not going to be lower than an A in the total tier list. So then it comes down to, will this either be an S or an A, depending on what I say here. I love dragging it.
Send the galaxy.
Tap the screen. Tap the screen.
Need the likes. Not enough likes. We start undoing the ones we already did.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I agree with almost everything you just said. And my thoughts, if I try to talk about this, would basically mirror everything you just said. So I'm not going to say a lot, but I am going to say I love hot takes, but this episode's an S.
Y'all got work for nothing.
The episode's an S. We did not give this an S when we watched it, and the reasons for that were explained, but it's been a few weeks, and I've thought about it more, and I do think it's an S.
Yeah, it's one that sits with you a bit longer, but just first off reaction, it was different. Yeah.
And I was very open too in that discussion of like, look, I don't think I'm ready to. We're gonna talk about this episode in the future again.
Oh
it needs to be. We need to fully talk about it. Okay. With that being said, this is an E.